is Aaron Rodgers. Last offseason, by now you were well aware, he told a lot of people within the organization he was unhappy with the Packers and didn't want to return. Of note, the 49ers at the time checked in to see if he was available. Packers weren't trading him. He was hosting Jeopardy. Rodgers was coming off an MVP season then, and he had another MVP caliber season this year. We'll see if he wins it. He won 13 games for a third straight year, led the league in total QBR. It seems Rodgers and Davante Adams are a package deal. He said he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. Adams obviously is a spectacular player as well. Rodgers on his appearance with Pat McAfee yesterday talking about his future. Listen.
One thing I would not do, 100% would not do, is retire and then, come back a year later. I'm at the place relationally with the Packers, in a really good place, especially with Brian. It would be a simple conversation and not going to be any weird standoff. I've had good conversations throughout the year, and it won't be a long, drawn-out process. And, one decision that will be upcoming will be obviously Davante, his future with the team. There still is this thing called the franchise tag. Don't think 17 wants the franchise. Like no player ever wants. I think that should be enough time to make a decision by then. I don't want to put myself on a specific date, but again, I do want to be sensitive to Davante and many other guys who have decisions to make on their own futures. And to drag it out past free agency would be disrespectful to the organization and to those guys, and that 100% will not happen.
Okay, so much interesting stuff, as there is every single week. I hope he continues to do McAfee, whatever it is he winds up doing next, because
just keep talking.
It gives us a lot to talk about. That said, I just want to recap for those just joining us. You said all year, Kmart, that you thought he had 1 foot out the door.
It felt like that, yeah.
The way it ended, how does it feel now?
Feels like those feet are walking out the door for good. It does feel like that. The way it ended, the fact that, we talked earlier the first hour about the Instagram post, him and Davante and the Last Dance reference to him and Jordan. Jordan and Pippen, they were going to go out together. One last ride, and for it to end like this, and Davante has talked about his situation and how it didn't seem like he was sure he would be back. So the fact that Aaron is talking about that now, the fact that Aaron has brought up the roster and how a lot of guys are not under contract, going to be free agents, and how he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. If Davante's not in Green Bay, I don't see Aaron deciding he wants to be in Green Bay.
Yeah, those pictures you just saw were posts that each of them, Rodgers and Adams, posted before the season. You remember The Last Dance. We know how that ended. It certainly didn't end that way for Rodgers and Davante Adams this year. So let's live in a world where he's leaving, Dominique. Yeah. What would be the best fit for him?
Yeah, I think it's Denver. I think that's where you need to go. They have the weapons. They don't have Davante Adams, but they have some really good receivers, a good tight end, and a really, really good defense. That's one of the things. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' playoff history, the defense and frankly the special teams on that onside kick and the block punt and block field goals, those were the things that had let him down. So going to Denver would be a place where he wouldn't be concerned with that, and he would not take a step back as far as offensive line protection is concerned and weapons is concerned. I think that's a good place to go for him.
Kmart, what's the best fit?
If I'm in my feelings, I would say Green Bay, but I'm going to say the Broncos only because the Broncos were floated as a possibility earlier, but recently I've been hearing more that Aaron would be interested in going to Denver. That if it aligns, if the stars align, and maybe Nathaniel Hackett ends up there as OC, or maybe Luke Getsy, his passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach in Green Bay, goes there. Could we see Aaron end up in Denver? I think they've got the roster. How much do you have to give up to get Aaron is the question.
Wow, that's going to be up to the Packers. Tim, what's the best fit for Rodgers next year?
Green Bay is the best fit for him. Look, he'd make any team better. You go to Denver, you might not even win your division. You look at the situation in the NFC North, if Aaron Rodgers is back, they're gonna win that division again. And look, I think part of the thing to consider when he talks about his timeline, almost what he's saying is, look, I'm going to make my decision so that Davante knows whether or not to re-sign with Green Bay if they offer him a long-term deal. Or, by the way, how he handles, getting the franchise tag placed on him if that's in fact what happens. So I don't think what he's saying is hey, Davante's going to make his decision, he's going elsewhere. I think what he's saying is, I'm going to tell Davante my plans so he can make an educated decision on what he does with Green Bay.
I like it. I'm going to give you a different one. He was bringing up Jordan and Pippen. I'm going to bring up Kevin Durant. If you can't beat them, join them. You know what? Kevin Durant went to Golden State because he couldn't get through them. I think Rodgers is going to go to San Francisco. Go ahead. He came 0-4 against them in the playoffs. That's his hometown, so he grew up in Northern California. They should have drafted him number one all those years ago. Let's right that wrong. They clearly, they've got Jimmy Garoppolo. He may win the Super Bowl, and yet he's still, I think they need a different quarterback. And they've got Trey Lance, and if he was, put it this way, if Trey Lance is what they wanted Trey Lance to be, I think he'd be playing right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I was just about to rain on your parade by pointing out the fact that they don't have any draft picks to make this trade. But I'm not here for parade raining. I like that. That's a beautiful story. They'll figure it out. They'll send whatever they
might say trade.
Just write a big check. Just trade them for a check. Give Green Bay $30 million and move on.
Do I think it'll happen? No. Do I think it's the best fit for him? I absolutely do. Coming up, what is going on in Brooklyn? James Harden expressing his frustration 2 weeks from the trade deadline. Stephen A. Smith has the insight. He'll be in our studio. Plus, the kid from Ohio who reminds you of Montana is a win away from a miracle, and I'm going to tell you why history says he's going to do it. That's on the way. Plus this, sneaky hembo for Dominique. Who was the only quarterback drafted number 1 overall to win a conference championship within his first 3 NFL seasons? That's a good question. Answers next.
I get them wrong all the time.
Get up on ESPN.
Who knows?
Get to like, subscribe, and share all of our channels. Check us out. Hey, tell us what you think about it. Are we hitting it on the nail on the head or are we not? Please leave a comment. Let us know. Tell us how the flow is. But don't forget, this is your boy MC D-Rex, and I'm out. Peace.